coronavirus cases continue to surge all across Washington, Governor Inslee says all the counties in the state must pause reopening for at least another 2 weeks.
Plus, is Washington headed in the footsteps of Oregon or California in possibly reinstituting restrictions? We hear from Mayor Nadine Woodward on her thoughts.
We're going to see some warmer temperatures this week, but still not tracking that first 90-degree possibility until next week.
So this pause is going to continue at least until July 28th.
Governor Inslee's big announcement today that Washington counties can't move to the next phases of reopening until at least the end of this month. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Regina Ahn.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced today that Washington counties cannot move to the next phase of reopening for at least another 2 weeks. He says that as the number of coronavirus cases in Washington continues to grow and that it's essential to slow the spread. That pause, as he mentioned, will last until July 28th. And in the meantime, the governor says people need to do their part by wearing masks to curb the number of new cases. As many states across the country are seeing renewed surges of the coronavirus, some states like Oregon and California are reinstituting restrictions they'd previously lifted. Going backwards in phases, certainly not something people here want to see. So how likely is it for that to happen here? And what could that mean for Spokane? Our political reporter Casey Decker has those answers tonight.
We have to look where we're going to be, not just where we are. And we are heading to big trouble if we do not figure out a way to knock this pandemic down.
Washington, one of the many states right now seeing a problematic rise in cases and hospitalizations thanks to COVID-19. Mask use increasing and helping, but the numbers still scary. As a result, Governor Inslee today, for the first time, opening the door to the possibility of reclosing, putting back in place some restrictions on businesses that had previously been lifted. He didn't get into specifics, but when asked how likely that scenario is, the governor was frank.
There is a significant chance that we would have to take some of these measures.
If we do go back, I fear that we will lose some businesses.
For Spokane's economy, that could be disastrous. Mayor Nadine Woodward says the businesses she's talking to are barely staying afloat as it is. Some local restaurants already preparing for the worst.
We're getting ready to kind of launch an online ordering next week, just in case.
The governor today saying he wants to avoid that scenario, but he's even more afraid of a different one.
It would be really tough decisions. But the status quo we know is very, very dangerous right now. And we cannot accept the worst case scenario of experience what Arizona or Florida or New York had experienced.
Woodward didn't say whether she would support reinstating restrictions, instead saying we need to work hard to prevent them from even being necessary.
And what we can do in the meantime is make sure that we're doing everything we can to stay into phase 2 as a community. So let's not make it that much harder for our businesses. When you walk into a business, make sure you have your mask on and physically distant.
Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
The popular restaurant Capone's in Coeur d'Alene temporarily closed after a customer recently ate there despite knowing they tested positive for coronavirus. When the customer came back another time, they were asked to leave. In a statement posted online, the restaurant said that a woman who knew they tested positive and were supposed to be self-quarantined sat down with customers and staff members. Capone said they found out about it last Wednesday, and when the customer later tried to come back, she was kicked out.
The person who is positive, they should isolate. That's common. People know that. This person irresponsibly did not do that.
Capone's reached out to the Panhandle Health District to let them know what happened. Employees there are now getting tested for the coronavirus, and they'll be closed, they say, until tomorrow for cleaning. Meantime, the Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 76 new COVID-19 cases today and no new deaths. 29 residents of Spokane County are currently hospitalized. Meantime, across the state line, the Panhandle Health District reporting 47 new coronavirus cases in North Idaho.
All right, let's get to other top stories now. Spokane authorities are looking for a robbery suspect who assaulted a Spokane clothing store employee. They say it happened at the end of June. Authorities say 2 female suspects violently assaulted the employee who tried to stop them from stealing several $100s in merchandise. Surveillance video shows the suspects throwing the employee to the ground, kicking her and dragging her by the hair. Detectives identified the woman in yellow as 32-year-old Heather Roberts. They're still trying to identify the suspect in white shorts and black shirt. Anyone who recognizes her or has any information is asked to call major crimes detectives. The new Amazon fulfillment center in Airway Heights is reporting positive cases of the coronavirus. A spokesperson for Amazon says the company is supporting the individuals who are recovering. Officials also say they're following guidelines from health officials and taking extreme measures to ensure the safety of employees at the site. And exciting news for everyone wanting to get a pet. Spokane Humane Society will be reopening their shelter to the community tomorrow. All visitors will be required to wear a mask and only 5 people will be allowed inside at a time. If you are interested in adopting a dog or cat, you must fill out their adoption survey and head to their shelter between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We do have that survey on our website, KREM.com. And take a look at these pictures of the aftermath of the Road 11 fire. These aerial shots show the 10,000-acre fire that burned in Mansfield. Fire crews are mopping up the fire and all evacuation notices were canceled just yesterday. Yesterday, the organizers of Hoopfest announced the event as we know it will not happen this year. Because of the pandemic, they're converting the annual 3-on-3 tournament into more of a virtual skills challenge. Today, Mayor Nadine Woodward responded. She told KREM she understood that decision and also how it could already further devastate local businesses that are already hurting. But the important thing, though, is that we need to push through.
We are having to live through and experience things that we never thought we would, but we will get back hopefully to a normal, something more normal next year. Hoopfest will be back. We will survive 1 year without Hoopfest. It's a very unfortunate thing that it had to be canceled. I look forward to it coming back next year.
Hoopfest made the decision to go virtual based on guidance from the Spokane Regional Health District. They're developing an app to facilitate the new contest. The players who aren't interested can get a refund. And another major event in Spokane, Bloomsday, it's currently scheduled for September as a virtual race. We asked race organizers if they plan on going virtual like Hoopfest, and race director John Neal told us they're saddened to hear about Hoopfest and will support them in their virtual event. He adds Bloomsday continues to monitor the public health situation very closely and remains in close contact with Dr. Bob Lutz for the September 20th race date. As for now, virtual Bloomsday plans to remain in place.
The city of Spokane announced today they'll be helping renters who lost wages due to the coronavirus pandemic. They'll be working with the Spokane Workforce Council to provide $500,000 in assistance. The goal is to quickly implement limited time rent payments to people earning less than 60% of the area median income and who are temporarily unable to pay rent. Program criteria includes, not limited to, prioritizing recipients based on payment history, previous assistance, and proof of income. Their rentals also have to be located inside Spokane city limits and meet inspection requirements. Want to talk about the forecast for a moment? This summer has been cooler than normal so far, but at least we're seeing the 80s this week in the inland Northwest. Meteorologist Michelle Boss joining us, broadcasting from home tonight. Michelle, the weather today, just about perfect.
Yeah, it is going to get a little bit warmer, and I don't think anyone's going to say that it's not hot by the end of the week, because we are going to see temperatures get up into the upper 80s, but not the 90s, at least not this week. As we take a look at some statistics, our latest first 90-degree temperature is July 21st, and that was back in 1901, but I've heard that August kind of made up for it and had plenty of 90-degree days and was very hot. But there are no 90-degree temperatures in the forecast for this week. I think we're going to get it next week. Next week is looking pretty hot. But very comfortably cool right now, 69 in Spokane, 55 in Coeur d'Alene, mid-50s in Sandpoint and Deer Park. And even as those temperatures do get up into the upper 80s, it does cool down very nicely at night. 76 in Moses Lake, in the 60s across the Palouse. We did have a few cirrus clouds move through. Future Tracker pegged those pretty perfectly for this evening. Those will be clearing out, giving us clear skies later on tonight. In the next 12 hours, those temperatures dipping down into the mid-50s. We'll have plenty of sunshine tomorrow and a little bit warmer, mid-80s for highs. Upper 80s on Thursday, and then we're going to knock temperatures back a couple degrees just in time for the weekend.
All right, we have certainly earned this weather this year. Thank you very much, Michelle. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Still ahead, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement just made a huge decision that will impact thousands of international students. And before we go to the break, we want to hear any questions you have, whether it's something about the news or if you just want to know our favorite color.
Yeah, Mark, what is your favorite color?
It's blue, absolutely blue, for sure.
Mine's red, as you can tell. Well, we do want to hear from you all. Feel free to text us at 509-448-2000, and we'll try to answer one of your questions by the end of the newscast.